Hello everybody, welcome to this little unboxing of the Xenoblade Chronicles Trinity soundtrack box collection. As you can see here, I have it and it's quite large. Here is a switch case to show the scale. Put it on top, not as long, pretty dang close to actually the length there. It only kind of goes over about about a half inch or so. So today we're going to be opening this up. I'm going to show off all little intricate details of this cool little box set. And by extension, I want to show off my Xenoblade Chronicles collection as well. But we'll do this first, so if you're only here for this, then there you have it. If not, and you want to see everything else, then stay tuned. You can see the rest of the stuff that I have. Anyway, onto the soundtrack Trinity box. So the cover of it is gorgeous. It's got that beautiful Trinity processor. Not quite exactly the same picture from the game. In fact, the core crystals are slightly larger than they are in the actual image from the game, which honestly isn't a bad thing in my opinion. I think it looks pretty dang good. If we open it up, we can see that we have this beautiful image. Actually, it should be this direction. This is actually how it looks in the game when you see this picture. Yeah, it's got the nice little picture, that little star fallen as well. There's 20 discs total here, and so we'll look at every single one of them in the covers, but before we do that, let's take a look at this little booklet that was included. The back of the booklet shows the logos for every single one of the games, including their little DLC, spin-off, side game things. Future Connected, Torn of the Golden Country, and Future Redeemed. The front is actually that screenshot from the game, where it shows the Trinity processor. So you can see them side by side, the cover of the box, as well as the Trinity processor picture from the game. The core crystals are slightly smaller. Well, not slightly, they're actually quite smaller when you look at them in game. But yeah, so this little booklet's really sweet. You open it up, you have this beautiful picture from Xenoblade 1 with the Mechanis. It shows the table of contents, but the Mechanis' eyes are right there looming in the distance. It goes over every single song track and every single disc. Not only are they in Japanese, but it also has them in English. Like here's disc 1 for Xenoblade 1. It shows the main theme. It shows the composers who arranged it and everything. And if you see subtly in the background, you can see a image. And they're kind of hard to make out sometimes, but this one I'm pretty dang sure is in the Ether Mine. That's one of the secret areas there. What's also really sweet is to know what game it is from, and they show the little sword. So there's the Monado from the first game. We got Frontier Village in the background there. And then here's like the first moving to the next game. So there's Xenoblade 1, the Monado, and then there's the Aegis Sword from Xenoblade 2 starting on disc 6, which is disc 1 of the Xenoblade 2 soundtrack. You just got some beautiful pictures, like Araya, for example, in the background, including the music. And they try to like match the pictures with like the music of the area, which is really sweet. Moving into Xenoblade 3, like you got Torna here too on disc 11. Xenoblade 3 is was 9 discs total, while Xenoblade 1 was like 4. And then Xenoblade, oh, it might have been 5. How many was it? Xenoblade 1 is 5. Xenoblade 2 is 6, I believe. Here's more Xenoblade 3. A beautiful image of the 3 swords as well at the end. I love that picture so much. Then we have the lyrics of every single one of the songs as well, both in Japanese and in English. Here's Beyond the Sky from the first game during the credits. Drifting Soul. Then the 2 Tantil songs. One Last You. Moment of Eternity from Torna. And then at the end, we have words from every one of the main composers of the series. So Ace, which is 2 separate people. There's the first one is Tomori, I believe, maybe. And then Chico for part 2 of Ace. Kenji Hiramatsu has message 3. Minami Kiyota, Yasunori Mitsuda for number 5, and then finally Tetsuya Takahashi as the director of the Xenoblade series. Then finally we have all the credits for the entire soundtrack, including the musicians, the recording staff, literally everything that you could think of, along with some more beautiful images from the games. And there's that shot as well that is this. The spine artwork, and there's the end again. So starting from the very beginning, and mind you, if you are sensitive to spoilers from the games, you will see some, specifically with the Xenoblade 3 section. And later on, we'll be like full on spoilers because we'll look at art books and stuff from the different games. But from the first couple, there's not as much, but later on, there's definitely tons of spoilers. So the first one, we got this picture of Fiora and Shulk. In the background, you see their silhouette. The disc matches the header line, the color-wise anyway. Shows the Trinity processor on the disc itself. Open it up, and you can see it's the cover of the first game. Let's grab that. Pretty dang sweet. Disc 2 shows Ryan and Sharla. Their silhouettes on the back. The disc is slightly darker, just to match their header. And once again, the Xenoblade 1 Mechonis in the background. Disc 3 shows Melia and Ricky with a more magenta color for the header and the disc itself. There's their silhouettes. Disc 4, we've got Dunban and Alvis. Disc 5, this is the future connected disc, so we've got Shulk again and Melia again with their silhouettes, and then they use the same picture. I would have loved it if they would use the future connected cover. Would have been cool, but like I still don't. I mean, I can't complain. It's still really, really pretty. Upside down. Now we're on to Xenoblade 2, so we've got Rex, Pyra, and Mithra on the front. There's their silhouettes, and as you'd expect, we have the cover for Xenoblade 2. Let's remove that disc. You don't have the Orion Titan in the background, which is really interesting. So there's Xenoblade 2's cover. It's basically just the World Tree, but without the Orion Titan. I don't know if there actually is a picture of this full thing on display anywhere that you can find really easily. But it's really, really cool. And there's the disc as well. It's that more purpley color. Next is Dromark and Nia. We're getting to a really solid purple now. Their silhouettes. That purple disc. We've got Poppy and Tora. Bridget and Morag. I love how this purple really matches them as well. The purple of the header and the disc. I really like how they chose that one for their disc. And it also works very well for Zeke and Pandoria too. Specifically Pandoria's color scheme. Now we have the Torna disc. So we've got Laura and Jin. Once again, I would have loved if they used the Torna artwork instead of just the Xenoblade 2 artwork, but I digress. Alright, now we have the Xenoblade 3 stuff. So we've got Noah and Neo on their silhouettes. And here we finally have the Orion Titan. Let's take their disc out. So this really is just their full-on cover artwork, even with the characters in the shot, which is surprising. I kind of thought they wouldn't have the characters in the shot, although they did have the Minato from the first game in that one, so I don't really know if there is any uniformity with that. And because Xenoblade 3 has so many discs for the soundtrack, they decided to throw their Ouroboros forms as well, so there's Noah and Neo's Ouroboros form. And that trend continues with the rest of the main cast as well, so there's Tyon and Uni. As well as their Ouroboros forms. I love this color too. This disc is probably one of my favorite. These turquoise discs. They're beautiful. We got Lanz and Senna. Their Ouroboros forms. The more tanky Ouroboros. I guess Senna's could be an attacking Ouroboros form too. Riku and Manana. Of course, they're on here as well. Could not have them. I mean, of course we have to have them. Because there is 2 more discs, you can assume what the last one is, but this one is N and M. So as you can see now, there's the spoilers that I was alluding to earlier. And then finally we have Noah and Niel for disc 20, which is the future redeemed soundtrack. Once again, finally, I'd like to point out that I wish they would have had the cover art for that, but it makes sense why they didn't. Let's put that back in there as well. And that is pretty much it for the entirety of the box set. You can see the gold extends around the entire side. It really is a sweet box set. It's a little unfortunate. Mine did come a little bit damaged right in the corner. I mean, it is what it is. Things happen. Shipping from Japan, it makes sense that can happen. But that is it for the soundtracks. I will be going over all of my different collector's pieces from the Xenoblade series. So if you'd like to stay for that, feel free. If this is where you end, well then sayonara. We'll see you later. There's all some cool little designs on the side. This is just a beautiful box set. Let's put this aside now. We can move on to the next thing. The collector set of Xenoblade 1. Man, this thing is so large it barely fits into frame. So this is actually the European version of this, because the European version of the collector set was much cooler than the North American version. So I had this imported from Europe. Pops up the top. And normally the game would be sitting there too, but I have it out. And normally I have the steelbook out as well, but I had it in there because we recently moved. The steelbook is gorgeous. I wish it was more uniform with the other 2 steelbooks from the other 2 games, but it's still gorgeous. There's the inside. The outside picture is just stunning. Okay, let's move this out of the way. This was my receipt from the shippers. Let's put that away. We got the vinyl soundtrack. It's got a beautiful cover, and the disc itself is just as gorgeous. You can see underneath that there is a big old poster that I have not done anything with. I don't really love the folds in the poster, but there is the vinyl disc. It looks so freaking cool. I don't know if I would ever play it or ever will play it, especially because I've got them on the CDs and digitally now. But this is just stunning. This is one of the coolest parts of the entire collection, no doubt. I'd love to get a display picture frame for it someday. This sound selection only has a couple songs on it as well. There's the track list. Here is the giant poster as well. I'm not going to bother unfolding it. Just know that it's the Future Redeemed artwork. And then underneath it all, we've got the art book. Sadly, this art book is paperback, and the others are hardcover. I've been trying to, well, not trying to. If I was actually trying, I could have had it by now, but I've been thinking about purchasing the hardcover version of this, which is from the North American Collector's Edition, but I just decided against it. It's just too expensive, and I've already spent lots of my money from this series in other places. Let's just put this back on here for now so I can show this a bit more. This art book is incredibly extensive. And there definitely will be spoilers, so be warned. I'd also like to just compare it to this one. This is the GameStop pre-order bonus that was back on the original version of the game. Not the 3DS version, but the Wii version. When you pre-ordered the Wii version of the game, it came with this mini art book. I really like this art book. This is probably one of my favorite images from the entirety of Xenoblade. I love this picture of the party. And it's really cool because this art book is embossed so you can fill them, which is weird to say out loud, but it's still pretty cool. You can see the embossing on that side a little bit from the light. That's the picture that essentially became the steelbook. There's the classic picture of Shulk in front of Colony 9. It's Ragul Lake, but also shows a little bit of the Bionis' leg. Satoral Marsh, probably one of my favorite areas in all of Xenoblade. The Machina Forest. They really knew what they were doing with this. They just basically showing off all these different locations. I don't know who put this together, if it was Nintendo America or if it was Monolith Soft. But regardless, they knew what they were doing when they put this together. Sword Valley. The Mechanis looming in the background. We got some character artwork. Poor Melia gets cut off in the spine. It's unfortunate. Some Mechon, Metal Face, and Zord. And then the back cover is the rest of that front image. So if we do this, we can show off the full image. Which is a nice reference. We'll get to it later, but with Xenoblade 3, there's a nice reference to this image. Okay, we're not going to go through this every single page at a time. I'll just kind of show you roughly what we're looking at. So there's some character stuff. Oh, there's that image again. Not the full version of it, but still really, really pretty. So we got character artwork. We got Shulk. The different costumes you can put him in essentially from the game. The armor sets. The new stuff from Definitive Edition. A bunch of concept artwork for him. All of the different armor sets that you can get. Multiple pages of them for the different recolors and everything. There's Fiora, some of her concept artwork. And as you can see, it just continues on with all of the different characters. Fiora's got quite a bit though. Like quite a bit. There's Rhine and Charla. Charla's got a lot as well. Dunban. I also love how when they show the character portraits, they have the old original versions of the character portraits. And as you keep going, you can see other character portraits, and then there's their definitive edition as well. We got Melia. So you got the future connected there. And then just all of the different outfits that you can put her in. Ricky. Concept artwork of Ricky stuff. The different outfits for Ricky. Pineapple Ricky's best Ricky. Tyrea, and now we're getting to non-party members. I guess Nene is technically a party member in Future Connected, but we'll just kind of go through this really quickly now. More character artworks for all the different characters, as well as concept artwork. Enemies. This is beautiful right here, this shot. Really, really cool. So it's not just like main bosses, but also just all of the different creatures you'll find in the game. Really, really cool. The Mechon too. The Mechon have always had incredible designs. So this is the location section. Some fun little artwork there. I like how it starts with the locations and shows just the Bionis and the Mechonis as part of locations in general. These are some of the original concepts that Takahashi had put together. And then just a bunch more concept artwork for the game. Some really sweet posters. I love this artwork right here. I wish that they would have used this for the steelbook, this specific picture, with a white background as well, just to be uniform with the other two games. The different weapons too. It's very in-depth. There's so much stuff. And then storyboards for a specific scene. It's super cool. They definitely went all out with this. The back shows the Bionis, while the front showed the Mechonis. The Mechonis is so freaking cool looking, dude. I love this thing. That is it for the Xenoblade 1 collection. There's one final thing, but let me get all of this stuff packed away before I show that. Alright, the final thing for the Xenoblade 1 stuff is this gorgeous figure of Melia that I have. I only have 2 Xenoblade figures, and I only plan on ever getting one more to complete a trio, in a sense. But these figures are done by Good Smile. I don't know who any of the sculptors are, but they are just incredible. They've got incredible detail. I mean, look at her wing, if it'll focus on it. There's so much detail. The braids of her hair, her little hairband thing. It's very impressive. The base has like this fake grass stuff. Very interesting. Her staff is cool looking. They did a great job. And that does it for the Xenoblade 1 stuff. Let's move into the Xenoblade 2 stuff. Alright, Xenoblade 2's Collector's Edition. I picked this up at launch as well. I've gotten all of these at launch. This one's the oldest for sure, since 2017. So it also has some of the most damage on it, but it still looks pretty dang stunning. Unfortunately, this version of the Collector's Edition did not come with a case. So I've actually been using Skylar's copy of Xenoblade 2 to show it off a little bit. But this version comes with a nice steelbook, which is why I want that one picture specifically from Xenoblade 1 to be a steelbook on a white background to match them. Oh, the inside as well. It's that iconic artwork, both Mithra instead of Pyra. The little sound selection. I actually never did open this. So this is still technically sealed. I can't remember all of the songs on this. It doesn't have a list. There's some words embedded into this packaging slip. and I don't know what language that is. Maybe Tornin or something. I honestly don't know. And here is the Xenoblade 2 art book, which is really, really sweet because it matches aesthetically with the other Xenoblade art books as well. They definitely planned that out in a very cool way. It shows a bunch of different titans and then symbols from each of the different titan areas. The side of the book is really, really cool with this one too. Let's see if I can show it a little bit better. Let's move this stuff a little bit out of the way. Okay. So it's got little images depending on how you look at it. So this direction shows the Aegis' sword, which is just really freaking sweet that they even bothered doing something like this. And then this direction it's also showing the Aegis' sword. There we go. It's got some words on there. Once again, that same language. I think it could be Tornin, but I don't actually know. I guess it just, either way you fold it, it shows the sword or the words. But yeah, that's Pyra's sword, I believe. It's got the same kind of end on the hilt. Once again, there will be spoilers probably from this art book of Xenoblade 2. The beautiful cover artwork of that. We got some character stuff, just like the first art book. I won't take as long with this one. We'll go kind of quickly. We got Rex, some concept artwork of Rex, Pyra, as well as her concept artwork. Actually, I don't think there was any concept artwork in that. There's Mithra, Nia, Dromark, Poppy, Tora, Morag. This is cool, all the different facial expressions they show off for this stuff. Really, really sweet. Zeke and Bridget, and then Pandoria. Got Van Damme and his Blade Rock. And it just goes through, just like the other one, with a bunch of different characters. This one does not have any Torna stuff, which is a little unfortunate, where the other one did. Wait. I guess it kind of does. I mean, it's got Laura and Fan Lenorn, or Hayes, specifically. But, I mean, they were technically in the base game, in a cutscene, I believe. A flashback cutscene, anyway. I doubt it's got Adam in any of this, because they pretty much wanted you to not know what he looked like in that game. The base game anyway. It seemed some beautiful concept artwork, like holy cow. Yeah, this is just stunning, the stuff that they did for this. And like, imagine, this is the stuff, some of the stuff that they didn't use. It's crazy, like they had so many ideas for all these things. The Tiger machine, some weapons, lots of different blades here. Really cool. Random items and knickknacks and stuff. Yeah, pretty dang cool. Definitely nowhere near as extensive as the Xenoblade 1 Definitive Edition, Collector's Edition thing. Just because it also has the soundtrack and all the other goodies. I'm gonna keep this to look out, but we will put this away with it. And the other figure I have is Nia. I barely got this figure of Nia. It's brand new. I think it only came out a couple months ago, like for anybody to buy it, but I was lucky enough to buy this and get a hold of it before it became unavailable, because I'm sure this one is going to be really hard to find at some point. It's got incredible amounts of detail in this figure. Just like, even like the little, what are those, rope things? The little stuff in her sleeve. The crazy amounts of hair, it's insane. The core crystal base is pretty cool as well. Her hair and her sword is incredibly large, and it's really annoying One other thing I also think is very annoying about this figure is the fact that her hair is so large it had to come with like extra little acrylic standees to hold it up. I wish it didn't need that, but I mean, it is what it is. And it's got her pointy shoe spike things that are actually kind of sharp. You would not want to accidentally jam your finger onto that, but that is Mia. And at some point, I'd love to get the Mio figure that has been recently revealed. So whenever that comes out, I'll be able to grab that for the Xenoblade 3 stuff. That way I can have one character from each one of the games. Before we move on to 3, I guess I just got a copy of X to show. Nothing special with this. At one point, I almost bought the limited edition before it jacked up in price. Probably should have, but I didn't. Apparently Super Smash Bros. Wii U is in there. I'm playing through it right now currently on the Wii U, so that's why Smash is in there, I guess. Alright, last but not least, we've got the Xenoblade 3 Collector's Edition. I got super lucky just by being able to get my hands on this thing. It was incredibly hard, and I just got stupid lucky, and I'm very happy that I did. If you remember, earlier I talked about how this picture, there's a nice subtle reference to it. The Xenoblade 3 Collector's Edition back of it actually has that subtle reference, I would say. I think it is anyway. I mean, it may not be. They may not have intended it to be a reference, but I think it's got to be. If you look, you can see the party in the bottom right corner looking up at the giant Orion Titan and the Mechonis sword. And in this one, they're just looking up at the Mechonis. In a very similar kind of like layout. So I think it's got to be a subtle reference. Regardless, I absolutely love this picture. This picture is probably my favorite, but maybe this one still is just because the detail on the characters. If the characters weren't silhouetted on this artwork, I probably would like this one better than the Xenoblade 1 one. But man, yeah, it's hard to beat that. Alright, let's go ahead and dive into this. There's only one slot, which was for the Steelbook, because they had to send this out at separate times. We didn't actually get this on launch day. We only got the game on launch day, but luckily enough, it did come with a case. So I was able to get a case for this alongside the Steelbook, as opposed to the Xenoblade 2, just the Steelbook. That said, the Steelbook matches the Xenoblade 2 Steelbook, which is why I'd love a Xenoblade 1 Steelbook to match the Xenoblade 1 or the Xenoblade 2 and 3 Steelbooks. They're gorgeous. I absolutely love these Steelbooks. Let's set this aside. So that way we can have a look at the art book. Okay. The artwork is really dang cool. The front side, we've got all of their Ouroboros forms, the Kavesi and the Agni inside. And in the back, we have all the different character artworks of them. They went a different route from the Xenoblade 1 and 2 art books. Instead of showing off like a location kind of thing, they just showed the characters, and they made it so colorful and vibrant, and I really, really like it. I'm totally into it. Very, very cool. It's roughly the same size as the other ones, which is why, once again, I'd love to get a physical, or excuse me, a hardcover version of the Xenoblade 1 at some point. It's got different character artworks, more headshots showing off different emotions and stuff. The Ouroboros form as well. We got Mio. This is a good time to show this off too. The other thing I wanted to show off as well with the Xenoblade 3 section is this beautiful fan-made replica of Mio's flute that I was able to pick up. I tried getting both Mio's and Noah's, but the Noah one went out of stock when I went to purchase. So I was only able to get one of them, but at some point I would like to get the Noah one as well. But this custom flute was made by this person at Beyond 3D Props. This is on their Twitter account or their X account. They have their own website though as well, which we can link to. Their website is beyond3dprops.com. Right now they've got Mio's hair comb thing, which shows off in this picture of the art book right here. They also have a replica of Mio's pen, which is right there. I don't know if it comes with their notebook or not, but there it is. And then Nia's core crystal. Really, really sweet though. I love this prop. It's surprisingly actually playable. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world to play because it's 3D printed plastic, but you technically can make sound out of this if you were wanting to do that. Like I was saying, at some point I'd love to get Noah's, but it was out of stock when I went to purchase. So I ended up with just getting Mio's. But it still is but it still looks dang good. It is stunning. The detail is really, really, really cool. Love it's got like a little core crystal-like thing right there too. I never noticed that about the actual artwork. But yeah, continuing on, we've just got more character artworks. There's Tyon, Uni, Lanz and Senna. Oh, there's Senna. I guess, yeah, and there's Lanz as well. So the enemies that you can fight in the game. Bunch of characters. Little different NPCs and stuff. Bunch of the different enemies that you can fight. The robots, the wildlife, all of it. There's also, as you'd expect, locations. A bunch of the different colonies. Concept artwork of these locations. This is really, really cool because you can really heavily see the inspiration from the 1 and 2 worlds. Like there's the Fallen Arm, for example. Pretty blatantly, obviously, the Fallen Arm. And it goes even more so in here. There's Araya. Some stuff is pretty, like, they definitely, like, kept it in the entire time almost. Like, that's probably Colony 4 inside of the desert, and then you can see Araya in the background. Like, they had a lot of this stuff kind of set in stone from the beginning, or near the beginning, it seems. Such a cool picture. The freaking water falling off of the world. I love this picture too because it shows like an early vision of like a party before the party that they eventually settled on, it seems. This one as well. This one almost looks like Xenoblade X, honestly. It's kind of cool. Weapons. Of course, you got to show off all the different weapons that the characters use. Because there are definitely a lot in this game. Another interesting thing you can see right here, or maybe you can't. On the edge, you can see like a caution, yellow and black like caution tape, and that's because that's the spoiler section of the art book. I love that they actually included the spoiler section of the art book because it would have been really sad if they didn't, because there's some cool stuff in there. Like the other games kind of just left it out, which I'm happy that this one does, but just has a section to tell you that it's spoilers. We got some more what are they called? Storyboards. And here we go, the spoiler section. It says, this contains spoilers to the game. Very much so, yes. Very much so spoilers of the game. Some artwork of that stuff too. But that'll pretty much do it. That is all the stuff that I have for Xenoblade. Oh, I guess I did just get this thing in the mail today. I got this from the Nintendo Platinum Rewards. It's just a cute little coaster set of the party members from Xenoblade 3. And then Riku and Manana. And it came with some stickers too, which is cool. Got the Agnes and the Kavesi stickers. They're little chibi forms, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, that is pretty much it for my Xenoblade collection. Thank you guys for checking it out. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you've never played Xenoblade and you got to this part of the video, then play Xenoblade. It's just that dang good. I'm a big fan. Anyway, we'll see you guys. And as always, keep it rad.